Welcome to NVL Travel Documentary. Beneath the glittering skylines and bustling streets of America's most famous cities lurks a grim reality, one of crime, desperation, and survival. From the neon glow of New York to the endless tent cities of Los Angeles, thousands are trapped in a cycle of poverty and chaos, their stories buried beneath the surface. How did the land of dreams become a nightmare for so many? In this travel documentary, we expose the shocking facts about countries that few dare to confront. This country documentary unravels the dark truth behind America's growing crisis. Brace yourself, this is NVL Travel Documentary, where reality is more haunting than fiction. Number 1. New York City. From Dreamland to Desperation. Once known as the land of opportunity, New York City has become a city of despair for thousands. The dazzling lights of Times Square and the iconic skyline mask an unsettling truth. Behind the glamour, an overwhelming crisis unfolds. More than 158,000 people in New York City are homeless, including over 50,000 children. These numbers are staggering, marking the highest level of homelessness since the Great Depression. Despite billions of dollars allocated to shelters and housing programs, the problem only worsens. Shelters are at full capacity, with an estimated 127,500 emergency beds, far from enough to accommodate the growing need. This raises a pressing question: where do those without shelter go? Hunger is another silent crisis sweeping the city. A shocking 20% of residents, roughly 1 in 5 New Yorkers, depend on food banks just to survive. Lines for food pantries stretch for blocks, as inflation and job losses push more families into financial ruin. Some former middle-class professionals now find themselves in soup kitchens, a stark reminder that no one is immune to hardship. Many of the homeless in New York once had stable jobs, families, and homes, but the economic downturn, rising rent prices, and job automation have left thousands without a safety net. Stories of families being evicted overnight and couples who once held high-paying jobs now sleeping on park benches have become increasingly common. Imagine working hard your entire life, only to find yourself sleeping under a bridge. Could it happen to you? Once bustling well into the night, Manhattan now falls eerily silent after 9:30 p.m. Rising crime, fueled in part by mental health crises and drug addiction, has left both tourists and locals uneasy. Streets once filled with laughter and late-night energy are now occupied by individuals struggling with substance abuse, their hollow eyes and staggering steps painting a grim picture of despair. Despite these hardships, New York City has the lowest percentage of unsheltered homeless in the nation, with only 3.6% living on the streets. This is largely due to the city's unique right to shelter law, which guarantees a bed to anyone in need. Number 2. Philadelphia's silent war, homelessness, and the fentanyl epidemic. Philadelphia, once celebrated as the birthplace of American independence, now grapples with a profound crisis that intertwines homelessness and drug addiction. As of January 2024, Philadelphia's homeless population surpassed 5,000 individuals, marking a 10% increase from the previous year and the highest count since 2020. Notably, the Kensington neighborhood has become a focal point with 337 unsheltered residents, the highest number recorded since at least 2015. This area has gained notoriety as the fentanyl capital of the United States, highlighting the deep connection between homelessness and substance abuse. The city faces a relentless battle against drug overdoses. In 2023, Philadelphia recorded 1,315 overdose deaths, making it the second highest number in the city's history. A staggering 83% of these fatalities involved fentanyl, a potent synthetic opioid. Compounding the crisis, substances like xylazine, known as tranq, have emerged, causing users to collapse in the streets and suffer severe wounds that complicate recovery efforts. In response to the escalating crisis, authorities have established recovery centers and proposed safe consumption rooms where individuals can use drugs under supervision. While these initiatives aim to reduce harm and connect users to treatment, they have sparked debate. Critics argue that such measures may inadvertently enable addiction rather than encourage recovery. Philadelphia stands at a pivotal moment. The convergence of rising homelessness and a devastating drug epidemic challenges the city's identity and resilience. The effectiveness of current strategies remains under scrutiny. If you believe Philadelphia's current approach will help curb the crisis, comment the number 2. If you think it will only make matters worse, comment the number 3. Number 3. Los Angeles, the Kingdom of Tents. Los Angeles, the city synonymous with Hollywood glamour, now faces a stark reality that contrasts sharply with its glittering image. The sprawling metropolis is grappling with a homelessness crisis that has transformed parts of the city into vast encampments, earning it the somber nickname, the Kingdom of Tents. Escalating homelessness. As of January 2024, Los Angeles County reported approximately 75,312 individuals experiencing homelessness. This figure underscores the severity of the situation, positioning Los Angeles among the regions with the highest homeless populations in the United States. Notably, the Skid Row area has become emblematic of this crisis, where thousands seek refuge on sidewalks and in parks. Soaring rent and living costs. A significant driver of this crisis is the escalating cost of living, particularly housing expenses. Over the past decade, rent prices in Los Angeles have surged dramatically. For instance, the median rent for 1- and 2-bedroom apartments reached approximately $2,057 by January 2025. This surge has rendered housing unattainable for many residents. The situation is so dire that even individuals with stable incomes, such as university professors earning around $70,000 annually, have found themselves facing homelessness due to the prohibitive housing costs. Ineffectual government interventions. In response to the burgeoning crisis, local authorities have invested heavily in housing programs. Despite these efforts, the crisis persists, suggesting that current strategies may be insufficient to address the root causes of homelessness. While the city is endeavoring to construct affordable apartments, the pace of development lags behind the escalating demand, leaving many without viable housing options. A city at a crossroads. The juxtaposition of Los Angeles's glamorous reputation against its profound homelessness crisis presents a complex challenge. The Kingdom of Tents stands as a poignant symbol of the city's struggle to reconcile its public image with the pressing need for effective housing solutions. Addressing this issue requires a multifaceted approach that not only increases the availability of affordable housing, but also tackles the systemic factors contributing to economic disparity and housing insecurity. Number 4. San Francisco, from tech boom to urban collapse. Once celebrated as a hub of innovation and technological prowess, San Francisco now grapples with challenges that starkly contrast its former glory. The city faces a confluence of issues, from soaring homelessness to a struggling commercial real estate market, painting a picture of a metropolis at a crossroads. Homelessness crisis. As of the 2024 point-in-time count, approximately 8,323 individuals were experiencing homelessness in San Francisco. This figure positions the city among those with the highest homeless populations in the United States, trailing only Los Angeles and New York City. The Tenderloin District, in particular, has become emblematic of this crisis, with sidewalks lined with tents, accumulating trash, and pervasive open-air drug use. Tech industry downturn. The once thriving tech industry in San Francisco has encountered significant setbacks. By the end of 2024, the office vacancy rate had reached 34.3%, marking a slight improvement from previous quarters, but still reflecting a substantial amount of unused commercial space. Major tech companies have either downsized or relocated, leaving behind empty offices and a diminished workforce presence in the city. Soaring cost of living. San Francisco's cost of living remains among the highest in the nation. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment exceeds $3,000 per month, making housing affordability a pressing concern for many residents. This exorbitant cost has led some to seek alternative living arrangements, including joining communities like Slab City, a desert squatters settlement known as the last free place in America, where individuals live without basic utilities such as electricity, water, or sanitation. A city in transition. The juxtaposition of San Francisco's innovative past with its current challenges has led some to describe it as a ghost town. As affluent residents depart and homelessness escalates, the city confronts a pivotal moment in its history. Addressing these multifaceted issues requires comprehensive strategies that encompass affordable housing initiatives, economic revitalization efforts, and robust social support systems to restore the vibrancy of this iconic city. Number 5. Las Vegas, the city that hides its homeless underground. Once a symbol of innovation and prosperity, San Francisco now faces rising homelessness, economic decline, and a struggling tech sector. As of 2024, over 8,300 people are homeless in San Francisco, one of the highest counts in the U.S. The Tenderloin District has become a hotspot for tent encampments, open-air drug use, and rising crime, making homelessness one of the city's most visible problems. The tech industry, once the backbone of San Francisco's economy, has shrunk significantly. By late 2024, 34.3% of office space sat vacant, as companies downsized or moved elsewhere. This has crippled the city's economy, leading to business closures and a declining job market. Despite economic struggles, San Francisco remains one of the most expensive cities in the U.S. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment exceeds $3,000, forcing many to leave the city or resort to alternative living arrangements like encampments or off-grid communities. To reverse this decline, San Francisco must expand affordable housing to prevent more residents from falling into homelessness, revitalize the local economy by attracting businesses and diversifying industries beyond tech, strengthen public safety and social services to support vulnerable populations. Once a beacon of opportunity, San Francisco now stands at a turning point. Whether it revives or continues its decline depends on bold, immediate action. Number 6. Chicago's freezing struggle, survival in the Windy City. Chicago's homelessness crisis continues to worsen, compounded by brutal winters, high taxes, and economic decline. While the city has taken steps to address the issue, progress remains slow, and thousands remain at risk. In response to the rising crisis, Chicago has expanded shelter capacity, offering emergency warming centers during extreme cold. However, many shelters remain overcrowded and underfunded, unable to meet demand. Some individuals, wary of crime or poor conditions, prefer to sleep in subway stations or airport terminals, rather than enter the shelter system. To tackle housing instability, officials have proposed affordable housing initiatives, but progress is sluggish. The high property tax burden, one of the highest in the U.S. Beyond economic struggles, Chicago is also dealing with an influx of migrants, many of whom require housing and support. The city has spent millions on emergency migrant shelters, sparking debates over resource allocation. Meanwhile, concerns over rising crime rates and business closures add another layer of complexity, as some blame the homelessness crisis for increased safety risks in public spaces. To break this cycle, Chicago must expand permanent affordable housing solutions rather than rely solely on emergency shelters. Use property tax burdens to retain residents and businesses, ensuring continued investment in social programs. Improve mental health and addiction services, as many experiencing homelessness struggle with untreated conditions. Strengthen community outreach programs to provide direct assistance before individuals fall into chronic homelessness. Without decisive action, the city risks further economic and social decline, leaving thousands vulnerable to the deadly cold each winter. A proactive, long-term strategy is the only way to ensure Chicago remains a livable city for all its residents. Number 7. San Diego's hidden crisis, Paradise Lost. As of January 2024, San Diego's homeless population surpassed 10,000 individuals, marking a 3% increase from the previous year. This surge positions San Diego among the highest in California for homelessness, underscoring a deepening crisis that demands urgent attention. A significant driver of this crisis is the soaring cost of housing. In February 2025, the median home price in San Diego reached approximately $949,000, reflecting a 5.6% increase from the previous year. This figure is substantially higher than the national average, making homeownership a elusive dream for many residents. The rental market offers little respite, with escalating rents further straining household budgets. The economic landscape exacerbates the situation. High living costs, coupled with wages that haven't kept pace, have led to increased financial instability. Consequently, more individuals and families find themselves without secure housing. This trend not only affects those directly experiencing homelessness, but also strains community resources and impacts the overall quality of life in the region. Addressing this multifaceted issue requires a comprehensive approach. Efforts are underway to expand affordable housing options and enhance support services for those at risk of homelessness. Community organizations and local governments are collaborating to develop innovative solutions aimed at reversing the troubling trend. Number 8. Phoenix, the scorching reality of homelessness. In 2024, Maricopa County, encompassing Phoenix, reported approximately 10,000 individuals experiencing homelessness, with estimates suggesting numbers as high as 14,000. These individuals endure scorching summer temperatures that frequently soar above 45 degrees Celsius, posing life-threatening challenges. The relentless heat not only endangers physical health but also exacerbates mental health issues, creating a dire situation for those without shelter. Over the past decade, Phoenix has witnessed a staggering 48% increase in rental prices, ranking second nationally for rent hikes. This surge has not been matched by corresponding wage growth, leading to a significant affordability gap. Consequently, many residents allocate over 30% of their income to housing, a threshold indicating severe financial strain. The disparity between rising living costs and stagnant wages has forced numerous individuals and families into homelessness, unable to keep pace with the escalating expenses. In response to this crisis, Phoenix has expanded shelters and established cooling centers to provide temporary relief from the oppressive heat. However, these measures fall short of meeting the growing demand. Shelters often operate at full capacity, leaving many without access to safe refuge. The limited availability of cooling centers means that during peak summer months, vulnerable populations remain exposed to extreme temperatures, highlighting the urgent need for more comprehensive solutions. Addressing Phoenix's homelessness crisis requires a multifaceted approach. Investments in affordable housing are crucial to bridge the affordability gap and provide stable living conditions. Implementing policies that ensure wage growth aligns with living costs can alleviate financial burdens on residents. Additionally, expanding shelter capacities and increasing the number of cooling centers are essential to safeguard those currently affected by homelessness. Community engagement and support services, including mental health and employment assistance, are vital components in creating sustainable pathways out of homelessness. Number 9. San Antonio's Dilemma: Migrants and the Homeless Crisis. As of January 2024, San Antonio's homeless population reached approximately 3,398 individuals, marking a 6.8% increase from the previous year. This surge positioned San Antonio as having the second highest homeless population in Texas, surpassing cities like Houston and compounding this issue is the arrival of migrants from Central America. These individuals often face formidable obstacles, including language barriers, limited employment opportunities, and securing shelter. The city's Migrant Resource Center, established in July 2022, ceased accepting new arrivals in February 2025 due to a significant decline in migrant numbers. From January 2024 to January 2025, there was a 72% decrease in migrants arriving in San Antonio, dropping from 8,264 to 2,616. Nonprofit organizations have been pivotal in providing assistance. However, recent developments have strained these efforts. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has withheld over $13 million in reimbursements to San Antonio, pending a review of fund usage. This financial uncertainty hampers the city's ability to support both the homeless and migrant populations effectively. Despite these challenges, community leaders remain committed. Initiatives like the annual point-in-time count mobilize hundreds of volunteers to gather data, informing strategies to combat homelessness in the global north. Local pastors and organizations continue to provide essential services, including meals and shelter, to those in need. Number 10. Dallas, a city of wealth and widening poverty. Dallas is a city of striking contrasts, rapid economic growth alongside a persistent homelessness crisis. Despite its booming economy, over 3,700 people in Dallas and Collin counties were homeless as of 2024, marking the lowest count since 2015. To combat this, Dallas adopted the Housing First approach, which provides permanent housing before requiring employment or sobriety. This strategy has a 98% retention rate, proving that stable housing fosters long-term recovery. However, not all accept solace solutions with mental health disorders or substance use, making sustainable solutions more complex. Encouraging progress has been made. Since 2021, homelessness in Dallas has declined by 19%, with unsheltered homelessness dropping 24%. A major driver is the REL Time Rehousing Initiative, which has successfully housed over 3,000 individuals since 2021. Yet the city's deep wealth gap remains. While Dallas continues to expand, true progress will depend on ensuring that economic success benefits everyone, including its most vulnerable residents. Addressing homelessness requires not just housing, but also mental health support, job opportunities, and long-term social investment. Number 11. Why is this happening? The root causes of America's homelessness crisis. Despite over $10 billion in federal funding for homelessness programs in 2025, the crisis continues to escalate. In 2024, homelessness surged by 18%, reaching a record high 771,480 people in a single night. The primary driver of this crisis is the housing affordability gap. From 2001 to 2022, median rents rose by 19%, adjusted for inflation, while household incomes increased by only 4%. Today, over 51% of renters are considered cost burden, spending more than 30% of their income on housing, leaving little room for other essentials. Meanwhile, wages remain stagnant, failing to keep pace with inflation. Minimum wage hikes were intended to provide relief, but rent increases have offset these gains, making housing just as unaffordable. Government assistance has also fallen short. Proposed funding for housing vouchers is still $3.7 billion below what is needed, leaving thousands without access to stable housing. Temporary shelters are overcrowded, and long-term solutions are underfunded, exacerbating the crisis. The impact is visible across major cities like New York and Los Angeles, where homelessness is linked to rising crime, struggling businesses, and urban decline. Once thriving neighborhoods now face social instability and economic downturns, highlighting the urgent need for systemic reform. In short, high housing costs, stagnant wages, and inefficient government aid have created a crisis that threatens not only the homeless, but the stability of entire cities. Addressing these root causes is crucial to reversing this trend. Number 12. Can America solve its homelessness crisis? Solving America's homelessness crisis requires immediate and strategic action. Despite over $10 billion in federal funding allocated for homelessness programs in 2025, the number of people without stable housing continues to rise, reaching historic levels in 2024, with an 18% increase from the previous year. A major issue fueling this crisis is the severe housing shortage. The U.S. lacks 3.8 million affordable housing units, while high mortgage rates and rising rents push homeownership out of reach for many. As a result, low-income families struggle to find stable housing, driving homelessness rates even higher. Beyond housing, mental health care and employment support are crucial. Many experiencing homelessness suffer from untreated mental illnesses, making it harder to secure jobs or stable living conditions. Programs like PATH, Projects for Assistance in Transition from Homelessness, provide mental health services, but demand far expanded resources. Stable employment is another key factor. Organizations such as Endeavors and U.S. Department of Labor grant programs help train and employ those at risk, including veterans. Strengthening these initiatives can create long-term solutions rather than temporary relief. Without decisive action, cities like New York and Los Angeles will continue facing rising crime, business closures, and urban decline, worsening the crisis for everyone. Addressing this issue requires a multi-pronged approach, increasing affordable housing, improving mental health services, and expanding job training programs. With focused policies and community-driven solutions, America can break the cycle of homelessness and build a future where stable housing is a reality for all. As we've explored the harsh realities of homelessness across America's major cities, one thing becomes clear. This crisis is not just about numbers, it's about people, communities, and the future of our nation. Rising costs, stagnant wages, and systemic challenges have turned once thriving metropolises into battlegrounds for survival. But amidst the struggle, there is hope. With the right policies, stronger community efforts, and a commitment to real change, cities can reclaim their promise of opportunity and prosperity. The question is, will we act before it's too late? What do you think is the most effective solution to this crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more eye-opening explorations on NVL Travel Documentary. Your support helps us bring important stories like this to light. See you in the next journey.